This is Jarrod Horak for the runawayhorse.com. This is my latest Breeders' Cup preview. I'm going to preview in this video of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Yesterday I did a preview of the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Earlier this week I did a preview of the Breeders' Cup Classic. And then last week I did some previews for the Breeders' Cup Friday races and then a couple videos for the Breeders' Cup Saturday races. You can find all of those videos on my YouTube channel if you're interested in those. Now, if you're interested in my full card analysis for the two-day Breeders' Cup from Keeneland, Friday, November 4th, Saturday, November 5th, you will find those full cards at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page, Breeders' Cup Week. I have a pre-sale going on right now, and I'm offering $2 off Breeders' Cup Friday, a couple bucks off Breeders' Cup Saturday, or $4 off if you want to purchase both days. And that sale ends tomorrow night, October 31st. So if you're interested in picking up those full cards at the sale price, head on over to therunawayhorse.com on my sales page and you can get those now, and then I'll send those full cards out later this week after I finish the analysis. And I've been covering these full cards for the Breeders' Cup since 1998, so I have a long-term track record doing these Breeders' Cup full cards, and hopefully we can have a lot of success again this year like we have had many of the past years. So now let's get into the analysis of this video, and I'm going to do the fifth race from Keeneland for Saturday, November 5th, 2022. It's the Grade 1 $1 million Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile for 3-year-olds and up, and they will be traveling 1 mile around 2 turns on the main track, and the scheduled post time is 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to go through the pre-entries in this race in alphabetical order and then give my thoughts on some of the horses that I like most before post positions are drawn. And post positions will be especially important in this race. I think if you don't draw at least through posts 1 through 5, you could be in trouble because getting hung out wide at Keeneland in these 1-mile races, it's not where you want to be. You want to be probably close to the lead and then towards the inside as well. So now we will go through alphabetical order with the pre-entrance, beginning with Cody's Wish. Now, Cody's Wish is very consistent for trainer Bill Mott. This one is a son of Curlin. He's run 10 times, 6 wins, a second, and 3 third-place finishes. He's having a good year this year. He's 3 for 4. In his first start this year, the Grade 3 Challenger Stakes at Tampa Bay Downs on a good track at 1 mile and a 16th. He rallied, he missed by a neck. And then his last 3 starts were all wins. He won the Grade 3 Westchester at Belmont Park in the slop by 5 lengths. He was up on the pace, sitting in second, and then he took over and won easily. He stalked the pace in the Hanshin Stakes at Churchill Downs. That was a 1-turn mile. He won that one by a neck. He beat 3 Technique that day. And then the Forgo Stakes last time out, a Grade 1, 7 furlongs at Saratoga. He rallied from 6th in a 7-horse field, and he was able to run down Jackie's Warrior, your Breeders' Cup sprint favorite this year. So Cody's Wish ran a good race last time. His speed figures really advanced in those last 3 starts, and he looks like a solid threat, but he has done the bulk of his damage and all of his wins around 1 turn. So we'll see how he can do in this 2-turn mile. Cyberknife is the next one. He's run 11 times, and he's finished in the top 3 in 9 of those 11 with 5 victories. He has 2 Grade 1 wins this year. The Grade 1 Arkansas Derby in the spring. Then after that, he was 18th in the Kentucky Derby. He was wide. He was chasing very fast fractions. Forget that race. And then he won the Grade 3 Matt Winn. He won the Grade 1 Haskell Stakes. Then his last 2 starts, the Travers. He was second, beaten 5 lengths by Epicenter. He finished a nose in front of Zandon for the place. And then in the Pennsylvania Derby last time out, Tabo won that one. Zandon was clearly second, and Cyberknife just did get third. Now, he's had a long year. Actually, if you go all the way back to December of 2021 when he broke his maiden, hasn't had any layoffs since then. So he just keeps showing up in these races and trying hard. But it looks like he's stalled right now for his improvement. But this is probably a better spot. He's also pre-entered in the Classic because he would have to face Flightline in that race. There's no flight lines in this field. Gunite is the next one for trainer Steve Asmussen. This one's a son of Gunrunner. In 12 starts, he's finished in the top 3 in 11. 6 wins there, too. And he's really good this year. 6 starts with 4 wins and 2 seconds. He won the Maxfield Stakes earlier this year, the Grade 2 Amsterdam. He got that one done at 7-1. Grade 1 Alan Jerkins. He finished second behind Jack Christopher. Then he won a little stakes race at Churchill Downs at 7 furlongs, so $275,000 stake there, stalking from second, winning nicely. And then the Perryville at Keeneland at 7 furlongs last time out, he won that one easily. So the speed figures are good recently. The main question is going to be the distance. He's more of a 7 furlong, 6.5 furlong specialist trying a 2-turn mile. We'll see how he can do with the added ground. Informative is next. This one, 4 for 36. He's a veteran. He's a 5-year-old. He's earned over 500,000. He's not very consistent, but once in a while he jumps up there and runs a big race, like he did in the Grade 3 Island at Monmouth at a mile and a 16th in August. He won that one at 14-1. Prior to that, at 11-1, he was third in the Grade 3 Monmouth Cup. And then last year, he in a Parks 1-mile race last fall, 51-1, he ended up finishing third there. So sometimes he jumps up and runs a big race. He's probably going to be sitting in mid-pack trying to get involved. He would be a surprise. Maybe you could throw him in on a few tickets underneath for superfectas, but most likely he won't hit the board. Jack Christopher, he's more likely to go to the sprint for trainer Chad Brown. He's 5 for 6 lifetime with a 3rd place finish. He won his first 4 starts in his career, including the Grade 1 Champaign, the Grade 2 Pet Day Mile, and the Grade 1 Woody Stevens. They stretched him out to a mile and an 1/8 in the Grade 1 Haskell. He stalked, he led, he finished third there. He was well clear of the rest. Cyberknife and Tabo were 1-2. And then in the Alan Jerkins Memorial, they turned him back to 7 furlongs last time, and he won that race. So he's undefeated in races around 1 turn, and then his only 2-turn race, he was third in the Haskell. So that's why they're thinking they want to run him in the sprint, because the sprint's around 1 turn, and that seems to be his game. The next one will be Laurel River for trainer Bob Baffert. This one seems to have a good shot in here. He's one that is really sharp right now. He showed a lot of ability in his second career start in the spring of 2021 when he broke his maiden by more than 4 lengths. Then he was second in the Las Barreras Stakes after that. And then he ended up finishing 4th in his next start. Then he finished 2021 with an 11-length victory in a 2-turn mile race, optional claiming company at Del Mar. And then he did not run from September of 2021 until July of this year, and he came back running. He stalked and he won easily by almost 5 lengths, and he earned a strong speed rating. They jumped him into the graded ranks, the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien, and in that race, he stalked the pace. He was in post 7 from a 10-horse field, broke 9th, stalked the pace, pulled clear. He won by almost 4 lengths. So that was a strong effort in that last start for Laurel River, and now he's one that's going to try to keep it going. He does look exactly like the runner-up in this race, Ginobili. Now, Ginobili was coming into the mile following back-to-back wins at Del Mar. He won an allowance race at 1 mile, and then he won the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien. Same pattern here for Laurel River. So he looks like, with that early pressing speed, if he could draw one of those inner posts, he looks like a solid contender on speed ratings and current form. And he's fresh as well. Law Professor is the next one for Rob Atras. He's run well in his last couple starts. He won a turf route. That was the Tappet Stakes, a restricted race, 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf course at Kentucky Downs. Last time in the Woodward in the slop, Life is Good won that one. Law Professor was second, 10 lengths clear of the show finisher. It was only a 4-horse field. That race was in the slop. Still not sure what his best game is. Does he want to run in turf routes? He does handle the main track, but that last race was a wet track. And his other race that he did well on the main track, this Mathis Brothers Mile at Santa Anita, December of 2021, originally scheduled for the turf, and he won that one. So this is still going to be a tough spot for him, I think. He's another one that needs that good draw. Pipeline is interesting for Chad Brown. He was third in the Forego behind Cody's Wish and Jackie's Warrior last time out, and he was dueling on the lead, doing all the pace, dirty work, battling with Jackie's Warrior. So that was a good effort, and he was well clear of the rest in third. The Monmouth Cup was his start before that, and he ended up finishing second, battling on the pace. He was well in front of show finisher Informative. He ran in the Cigar Mile, but he didn't do anything there in 2021. So he's one that's still lightly raced. He's run 9 times. He's a 4-year-old. He's fresh for this. He's only run 3 times this year, and he'll probably be a pace factor. Senor Buscador is the next one. He's 4 for 7. He's a 4-year-old, and he started out like gangbusters in 2020, back-to-back easy wins, including the Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race. He only ran once in 2021, the Risen Star Stakes. He was 5th, racing wide, no threat in an 11-horse field. He did not resurface until July of this year, 6.5 furlong sprint at Lone Star. He stalked. He won that one easily. They shipped him to Del Mar for the Grade 2 San Diego handicap. Royal Ship, Country Grammar, Stiletto Boy were the top 3 finishers. He was 8th, beaten 9 lengths. They turned him back into Pat O'Brien. Laurel River won that one easily, and he rallied to finish third. And then in the ACAC, a grade 3 one-turn mile at Churchill Downs last time, he rallied to win that one over 3 Technique, who's one of the pre-entries in this race. So Senor Buscador is one that's in decent form. He's still lightly raced. He's still got some upside, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finished somewhere in the top 3. Simplification, he seems pretty simple if you look at his form, because if you look at his form from Gulfstream Park, it's outstanding. He just really likes that oval. But since leaving Gulfstream Park and getting on the Derby Trail, where he was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, 6th in the Preakness, and then he was 3rd in the West Virginia Derby, and then 4th ahead behind Cyberknife in the Pennsylvania Derby, just missing 3rd last time out. So he really likes Gulfstream, and away from that venue, he just doesn't seem to be quite as good. But he always tries hard, and that's the kind of horse you want to use in your exotics. Slow down Andy. He did earn an improved speed rating when finishing 3rd behind Defunded and Country Grammar. That was a clear 3rd in the Awesome Again last time out. Prior to that, he won the Del Mar Derby on turf. He was a grade 2 winner. He won the Los Al Futurity as a 2-year-old, and then he won the Sunland Derby, a Kentucky Derby points race earlier this year. So he's one that he has some ability. He's finished in the top 3 in 8 of 9 starts, but he's really going to need a good post, because if he's drawn outside, he's going to be stuck wide chasing the pace. So the next one will be Surely Furious, and this one's an all-weather specialist. He's 5 for 8 on all-weather ground. He's 0 for 4 on dirt. In the ACAC last time, he set the pace and finished 4th. And he's one that he needs that synthetic footing to do his best work. And if he couldn't beat the Senor Buscador controlling the pace, he's not going to be able to beat a field like this either on the main track. 3 Technique. He's been a decent horse for quite some time. He's run 26 times, 4 wins, 6 seconds, 6 thirds. He's banked more than $500,000. He's finished in the top 3 in 4 of 7 starts this year, including a 3rd place finish in the ACAC and the Hanshin Stakes. He was 2nd, a neck behind Cody's Wish. And he's got some ability, and he likes to rally from off the pace. I think if you're playing exotics, you can use him. He's run 8 starts at 1 mile. He's run 8 times at 1 mile. 1 win, 3 seconds, and 3 thirds. So that 6 out of 8, he's hit the board. So if you're playing exotics, 3 Technique could be one that you can throw into your superfectas. So I think, again, it really depends on post position here. Some of the top contenders, if they draw good post positions, Pipeline would be one for Chad Brown that I would consider. He could get up on the pace. He's still lightly raced. He's got some upside, and he's fresh. Laurel River for Bob Baffert. Very sharp Del Mar shipper. He excels at this 2-turn, 1 mile distance. He's 2 for 2, and he should be up on the pace. And then another one that you certainly have to consider, Cody's Wish, for sure. If he draws a good post, he's got some running style versatility. He's 5 for 5 at 1 mile, but all those wins were around 1 turn. So that's my early look at the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. After the post positions you'll draw, we'll know much more about this race. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content. And that will wrap up my early look at the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I'll be back next week with some more Breeders' Cup race previews. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.